Now, the Deputy Foreign Minister, Kweku Amprechum Sapon, has lamented the rising insurgency in West Africa. He detailed that the occurrence of coups which hinders on peace, stability and economic development of the sub-region must be tackled head-on. He therefore called on stakeholders of the economic community of West African state, ECOWAS, to map out strategies not only targeted at finding solutions to the coups, but also prevent them from occurring. He was speaking at a sensitization workshop on ECOWAS protocols in the Volta regional capital of Ho.
The ECOWAS sensitization workshop brought together key stakeholders, civil society organizations, public servants, media personnel and students. The workshop was to enlighten participants on the operatives, protocols and objectives of ECOWAS. The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Yaolecha, underscored efforts made by ECOWAS towards achieving regional integration.
Indeed, for about 47 years, the objectives of ECOWAS have not been fully achieved. That notwithstanding, some appreciable level of effort has been made to create a borderless sub-region to enhance free trade and movement of people. Therefore, as a sub-regional organization with the main aim of promoting economic cooperation among member states in order to raise the living standards and promote economic development, ECOWAS has protocols and conventions which each sovereign member states ratified and adopted. Consequently, there is a need for each member state to adhere to the protocols and conventions.
The Deputy Foreign Minister, Kweku Amprechum Sapon, emphasized the need for stakeholders to be concerned about the insurgency in the sub-region.
Regional integration is not just an economic issue. Following widespread conflict and instability in the sub-region in the 90s and early 2000s, ECOWAS leaders came to the realization that economic prosperity cannot be achieved in the absence of peace and security. That is to say that regional integration was found to be intricately and extricately woven into the fabric of peace and security other than just economic issue. So it's against this backdrop that the coup situation in the region is a vital topic of discussion during this workshop. In this two-day workshop, we hope to explore issues related to conflict development, the recent upset of coup d'etats, and its impact on the sub-region, as well as the role ECOWAS plays in conflict management, reconstruction, and peace building in West Africa. Being fully aware that economic development cannot be achieved in the absence of peace and security, conflict in our backyard should concern us and motivate us not only to find solutions, but also to prevent its spread.
He, however, indicated that, irrespective of achieving great strides, some ECOWAS member states have created artificial barriers curtailing the success of the regional integration objective.
I produce the things in Ghana. I am free and at liberty to sell in any of the West African countries. And they are producing in their countries and they are bringing them here. But when we are taking them there, there is wahala. This one is nobody's creation. It's our own who are creating it. We've opened our border, and I'm sure the young minister, the police have not. They haven't. Now, you see, where is the problem? It is not to do with the fact that ECOWAS is what is making it difficult. It is our own government who, at a point in time, will create all these artificial barriers and artificial problems and artificial confusion.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News. Oh.
So let's go onto the Zoom and speak to Dr. Chukwuemeka Eze, who is the Executive Director for the West African Network for Peace Building. Doc, grateful that you joined us. With your experience, why do you think we have this number of insurgency in the sub-region?
I think you're on mute, so if you can unmute yourself, then I can hear you. I can't hear you at all.
Okay. Doc, can you hear me now?
Sure. Thank you.
I'm trying to find out from you why or what the factors could be that are contributing to the rise in insurgency in the sub-region.
I think the first thing is that at the heart of insurgency in West Africa is what we may consider to be governance deficits. I think that a lot of the key push factors to insurgencies are ripe within West Africa region. So there is high level of unemployment. There are issues relating to arms proliferation. There are issues relating to narco trade. In the past, West Africa used to be a transit point, but we have also now become consumers of this narco and other illicit drugs. And because the environment is ripe for it, then the recruitment process is very, very easy. And that is why we continue to see that. The second thing is that I think also that the security architecture that we are currently operating does not fit the current security challenges, including insurgencies. I think that a couple of member states within the ECOWAS sub-region are still thinking that policing is about number. Meanwhile, the crime has moved ahead. So in some instances, you see what we may consider to be analog security architecture versus digital crimes. So always, crime is ahead of security intervention. And then, of course, the third thing to look at is also the level of cooperation between the ECOWAS member states. While these crimes are across borders, we still want to focus on our various member states or countries in an attempt to address the insurgencies.
But Doc, why does this happen when we have knowledge of these factors?
I think the first thing to look at is the level of political will to respond to some of these systemic and structural issues. In my opinion, it has been very weak. So hardcore security alone cannot resolve 21st century security challenges, including insurgencies. And therefore, the political will to invest in citizens' welfare is still very low. The second thing, of course, is the level of equipment. And in this regard, I mean both material and monetary equipment that we are investing in our security architecture. So if you look at the way and manner our police or army manages to, intervene on some of these security challenges, you would rather think that they are magicians, because in most instances, even the insurgents have better equipped materials as well as information system management than the security operatives. And that's also a problem. We cannot be talking about number in terms of policing. We should be talking about equipment and method of policing, for example. We should be talking about methods of information sharing that is also investigative in nature, that is proactive in nature, rather than the one that is reactive.
But Doc, there's a fundamental reason why people would want to take up arms against a government. Have we been able, as a bloc, identify this fundamental reason or factor so that we can even deal with it to prevent the insurgents from even happening at all?
Over 20 years ago, when WANEP was being formed, part of our driving forces and optimism was that we wanted to see whether we can save the states, and in this instance, West African states, from those rebel groups in Liberia, Sierra Leone, La Côte d'Ivoire, and so on and so forth, who wanted to take over the states. But today, the paradox of it is that those people are no longer interested in the states. Why? Because at the heart of all this is what we may consider to be the dividends of democracy deficit, and how the people of the West Africa region do not feel, especially the young population, they do not feel that they are part of governance. They do not feel the impact of governance. And therefore, for them, is either they leave the state through the Mediterranean Sea, or they attack the state because they do not feel they have stake in the state machinery. And to that extent, it means that they do not feel inclusive in the processes of managing the state, and they can actually take up arms to destroy the state. But again, we must also remember that there are external also forces in all this. In most of the the West African countries where we are having issues around insurgency is also the issue of natural resources and a lot of interest in those natural resources. And so long as West Africa continue to be attacked by insurgents and is disunited and is facing security challenges, the exploitation of those natural resources will never take the right route. And it has to be in the way and manner that it has to be exploited to the detriment of the West African citizens and governments.
So with this knowledge, why are African leaders or West African leaders not able to tackle them? Because if people feel we are not part of governance, bring them in. Isn't that the case?
It's not as easy as it is being stated. That would be ideal. However, there is always the excuses of scarce resources. There is always the excuses, the old excuses about the influence of the external actors and how that will affect also the sharing formula of these resources. The government cannot be the employers of all the citizens. But what is the environment for private sector, for example, to thrive? How do we ensure that the relationship between West African states and its external friends and at multilateral and bilateral levels are not exploitative? So all this is what I feel that we have not been able to address. And that is why today, ECOWAS, for example, the traditional reason for the formation of ECOWAS is no longer there, which is for integration and economic reasons. Yeah. Today, we are regularly facing issues of peace and security to the detriment of that which will add value to the citizens of West Africa.
Finally, once you went to ECOWAS, let's analyze ECOWAS itself. For the past few months, there have been some coups in the sub-region. ECOWAS has spoken, has threatened to give sanctions, but all of these sanctions have not been heeded to, and nothing has happened. So it makes people feel the power of ECOWAS has waned. How do we deal with this development as well? Because it's critical if we want to fight this.
ECOWAS is as strong as the authority of heads of state and governments makes it to be. ECOWAS is a product of its mandate. They cannot act beyond its mandate. And this is why we have been clamoring that this tension between supranationality and sovereignty need to be resolved. If you don't allow ECOWAS to bite, ECOWAS cannot bite, because within the ECOWAS mandate, every member state is equal. And therefore, once it does not favor the government in power, they go back to the fact that they are a sovereign nation. So how do you intervene in a sovereign nation when they have not violated any of the ECOWAS protocols? So if it is coup d'etat, what does the protocol on democracy and good governance say? And that's why, as civil society organization, working with other like-minded organizations, we have been pushing for a review of the protocol on democracy and good governance. The authority have said it unequivocally that they want a review of the democracy and good governance protocol. However, each time we provide the leeway and the direction for this, including to add to the review term limit, it is stepped down. So where is the political will between the speeches at the conferences and summits and the political will to implement? So that's why ECOWAS seems to be helpless, because as far as ECOWAS is concerned, it has used all of its tools for ensuring that these countries do not continue to be governed by undemocratic leaders. But the countries have said we are sovereign states, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Otherwise, it becomes an invasion.
All right. Doc, grateful that you join us. Dr. Chukwu Emeka Eze is the Executive Director for WANEP, the West African Network for Peace Building. Moving on to other stories. A storm has ripped off the roofing of the giant block of the Bishop Herman College in the KPANDO municipality of the Volta region. The dome section on the first floor of the structure was ripped off by the Wednesday storm, hereby worsening the infrastructure challenge of the school. There's more in the following report.
The giant block is one of the oldest structures on the Bishop Herman campus in KPANDO. The structure houses dorms, a library, and a bookstore. Unfortunately, the structure, which accommodates the majority of students, had its roofs ripped off by a storm on Wednesday. This is the second time in about 8 months the already dilapidated structure has had its roof ripped off after it was re-roofed. Francis Dominic Kofi Kudolo is the headmaster of Bishop Herman College.
This is one of our dormitory blocks. It is the biggest on campus. It can accommodate about 500 students. Yesterday, a rainstorm ripped off part of the roof. Last year, the same thing happened. Part of it was ripped off. We made reports to our officials. Unfortunately, nothing was done about it. Yesterday, the situation got worse by the rainstorm. At this time, the whole roof has been lifted and part of it was blown onto the floor. So all we can do is to relocate the students, which we have started doing. That is also compounding the already existing congestion problems in the other dormitories, because this houses majority of the students. So we have to distribute all these students amongst the other dormitories, which are smaller, and so the congestion is getting worse.
He explained that the structure, which has suffered several defects, was awarded for rehabilitation. However, the contractor abandoned the project due to a lack of funds.
The block itself was awarded for renovation, or awarded for contract to one Will Elick Limited. Unfortunately, he re-roofed the building and then erected some 2 staircases and then left site. When I consulted him, he said there is no money. He has not been paid for work done so far, and money has not been allocated for the work. So he left site. So we reported to GET Fund, which is the awarding institution, hoping that they will quickly organize something for the contractor to come back to site. But unfortunately, nothing was done about it.
The KPANDO Municipal Chief Executive, Geoffrey Kojo Badasu, had this to say after assessing the extent of damage.
I was informed this morning of the disaster that occurred at Bishop Herman yesterday as a result of the downpour. I visited the school with my NADMO team, and I realized that the situation is quite disturbing, and the school as it stands now needs urgent intervention.
The school's management is appealing for support to undertake the rehabilitation of the giant block to ensure the safety of students and enhance academic work. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, KPANDO.
Now, authorities at the Kintampo Senior High School in the Bono East region are appealing to government to help in the completion of abandoned project to enhance academic work. Headmaster of the school, Samuel Kweku Donyina, made this appeal during a Deba to climax the 50th anniversary celebrations of the school. Correspondent Anas Sabet was at the function and filed the following report.
A grand Deba to climax the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Kintampo Senior High School has been held with a call on authorities to help improve the school's infrastructure, which, according to the students, is affecting academic activities.
Kintampo Senior High School faces many difficulties, which reduces academic performance. First, I would like to talk about the lack of furniture in our school. Most students, when it's time for dining, when they go, unless they enter badge by badge, until all of them get food to eat, which reduces academic performance. It makes most students go to class late. And also, we lack dormitories. Our dormitories are inadequate. Lack of dormitories have made girls very few in the school. And also, lack of beds too. Most students, especially the fun ones who just reported, lie on the floor.
As you can see, in this world, everything is about computer. So how can a student be in school without studying ICT? So I'm pleading on the government that they should come to our aid to help Kintampo Senior High to build and equip computerized laboratory to help the academic work of Kintampo Senior High School.
Headmaster of the school, Samuel Kweku Dumina, disclosed that authorities of the school have been forced to convert a master's bungalow into a girls' dormitory to help manage the school's accommodation challenges. This he attributes to the slow pace of projects under construction within the school.
We have several challenges in the school. Notably, one among them is the road network. Very, very, very poor. You have seen it for yourselves. We again have challenges with girls' dormitory. As at now, we have converted one master's bungalow that was supposed to be for the assistant headmaster domestic. We have converted to girls' dormitory. We hope people will come and support us. We have some projects that are ongoing, but at a very snail pace.
He appealed to stakeholders in the education sector to come to the aid of the school to help solve these challenges.
We are praying that GET Fund, government and all people who are in charge will help us fix it so that the students would have a bit of comfort as they learn for the betterment of their future and Ghana at large.
Guest speaker and former student of the school, lawyer Samuel Boache, called on the student body to contribute their quota towards building their futures by taking their lessons seriously.
Now, Swiss Ambassador to Ghana, Philip Stauder, has commissioned new water, sanitation and hygiene facilities for Manyoro Community Health Planning and Services Compound in the Kasana-Nankana West District of the Upper East Region. The facilities include a solar-powered mechanized borehole, washrooms and toilet facilities for the healthcare staff of the maternity rooms. Now, addressing the chief and people of Manyoro, Ambassador Stauder said his country, Switzerland, will continue to support humanitarian projects in Ghana. Correspondent Albert Sorry has more.
The Manyoro community in the Kasana-Nankana West District of the Upper East Region was one of the worst hit by the flood disasters of 2019 and 2020. Following the disasters, the Ghana Red Cross Society, with funding support from the Swiss Red Cross, constructed new low-cost houses for the people in this community who lost their homes in the floods. This year, the Swiss Red Cross has funded the installation of water, sanitation and hygiene facilities for the Manyoro Community Health Planning and Services or CHIPS compound. On a visit to commission the facilities, Swiss Ambassador to Ghana, Philip Stauder, first paid a courtesy call on the chief of Manyoro. He also visited some homes to have a personal look at the low-cost shelters that were constructed for the flood victims. The chief of Manyoro, Per Dr. Poakia Atudi Pari Manchi III, expressed his gratitude to the Swiss Red Cross and the Ghana Red Cross Society for the work they have done in his community.
I am happy for a project because we used to travel far for water. We used to travel far. Some of our people died when they are being referred. In fact, we don't even have accommodation. This community is about 26,000. It doesn't mean that the governments have not been doing their best. It is that they've been doing their best according to their defined limits. Whoever comes to us, we will embrace. So, may the ancestors and the gods of our land bless you.
The water, sanitation and hygiene facilities for the Manyoro CHIPS compound include a solar-powered mechanized borehole, washrooms and toilet facilities for the healthcare staff and the maternity rooms. The nurse in charge of the Manyoro CHIPS compound, Matilda Songose, said the sanitation facilities have brought massive improvement in the delivery of services at the healthcare facility.
On the aspect of the clients and the patients too, when a woman comes in labor, the caretaker, whoever brings the labor case, has to go to a borehole or wherever he or she can get us water to help us render the service to the clients. And on the part of sanitation too, we, the health staff here, we are having a toilet, it's behind there, it was a KVIP. And in fact, it was nothing to write home about before this project came into. Transportation for our clients, that's when we are referring cases. It wasn't easy. So in fact, Red Cross have come to solve that problem too by giving us a tricycle ambulance, which we are very happy with. Especially last year when it got to the rainy season, we referred many complicated cases to hospital.
The Swiss ambassador to Ghana, Philip Stolder, said he was excited to see the impact of their work on the Mayoro community.
Now we will inaugurate this health project, and it was rightly mentioned it's a successful project. But let me make one observation and maybe share one thought with you. We cannot yet consider it as fully successful because now the maintenance, now the implementation of the project starts, no? And that's for me the essential. We can build up a structure, we can build up a project, but then it has to be used successfully. And I count on all of you, on the citizens, on the Women's Association, that you use the facility in the best way. Only then I would call it a successful project.
He said his country, Switzerland, will continue to support humanitarian projects in Ghana. The Secretary General of the Ghana Red Cross Society, Kofi Addo, said a humanitarian forum will be held later this month to mobilize resources for more interventions in deprived communities of the Upper East region. For Joy News, Albert Sori, reporting from Mayoro.
Now, Untitled College has been crowned as Central Region champions of the APSA National Science and Maths Quiz Regional Championship after a heated finals Thursday evening. Wesley Girls, Infant School and Holy Child School were eliminated at the early stages of the competition. At the end of the finals, Untitled College had 52 points, St. Augustine's College had 41 points, University Practice had 37, and Ghana National College 23 points. Maxwell Agbagba was there and Asmo from Cape Coast.
Those who have built the school with us,
all hail the 2022 Central Region champions of the APSA Science and Maths Quiz Regional Championship at Untitled College.
New champions of the Central Region APSA Science and Maths Quiz Championship. It's all excitement here at the Center for National Culture. These overjoyed students cannot control the excitement. They beat St. Augustine's College. They also beat Ghana National College to lift the trophy as the 2022 Central Region champions. This is what it is. And this is the moment of pride for all of them.
Play up, set a conscience. Play up and play that game. Give nothing but your best and never take a rest. Play up for them.
Untitled College fought hard to get this by winning their first contest with a 22 points gap. It was a close contest throughout the first 3 rounds in the finals until the 4th round when it became clear it was going to be a disco's day. The contestants say they are determined to win the national glory for their school.
It's been a while and we are really excited because since I think 2015 we haven't won the regional championship and that I'm really excited, overwhelmed for this opportunity for winning it. Yeah.
Did you think that you were going to win?
Yeah, we had confidence in ourselves by God's grace because the fact that the teachers told us that we will win, then with that faith we had in ourselves, we knew we'll make it today.
Okay. What should we expect in the national championship?
Just the best from us.
Well, so we'll take a quick break here. We will return with business with Daryl Kwao.
Time now for some latest update in the world of entertainment here on Showbiz. And of course, the communications manager for Charterhouse, Robert Clark, has hinted on what the winner of the New Artist of the Year category of this year's Vodafone Ghana Music Awards is likely to experience after the awards on Saturday. Speaking in an interview, Robert said the winner will enjoy the pride that comes with winning the category, including a performance at the Aquaba UK Ghana Party in the Park in July.
Is that for New Artist of the Year? From this year, the VGMA in partnership with Aquaba UK have a package for them. Anybody who wins a VGMA New Artist of the Year automatically qualifies to have a fully funded performance at the Aquaba UK's Ghana Party in the Park.
Mm.
Yeah, so once you win, automatically you're qualified to have that particular performance.
Tickets, visa, everything sorted.
Yes.
Hey.
Beginning to end. So, and then it comes with whatever. So what it means is that if there are media rounds and a few other things that are supposed to be done to support you, those things should be taken care of. But then the main focus is the fact that once you begin a new artist, if you're able to break through, we are saying that we are providing you even a bigger platform for you to entrench or grow new markets in the UK. The diaspora, connect with them and have your perception on international music business, sharpened. So go and experience it. But obviously, we are saying that.
So once you win, the Aquaba Party in the Park.
Aquaba Party in the Park.
At
Ghana Party in the Park.
Ghana Party in the Park in Trent, UK.
Yes.
This.
And that was the communications director of Charterhouse speaking on that issue. Now, away from that, rapper Edem has hit on his critics and indicated that he is different, and that is the reason people are uncomfortable around him. Now, speaking in an interview, the rapper, who says rap doesn't pay, stated categorically what makes him different as an artist and why such prowess seems to offend and make many uncomfortable around him in the music industry.
People, they rap from the time they rap and they still they rap up till today. They cannot sing. Like they go fit singer, like they sing them. Like they go fit do dance or they do them. And we can mention names. You understand? Flo Kingston is a rapper. He cannot do dancehall, so he cannot do it. He cannot do reggae, so he cannot do it. Sarkodie is a rapper. He cannot do reggae, so he cannot do it. Even on a reggae song with Samini, he rap. So it is about ability and craft, and this is what I have. But people have been programmed to think that if you be artists, you for pass this way. But genres of music and all those things, they were created by labels and radio stations to categorize music. But what I have is a gift of God, and so get category. I bust a blank every time, differently. And because I'm different, you people be uncomfortable, but I'm there, so.
And that's rapper Adam over there. And that will be all for Showbiz. More news on www.myjoyonline.com. My name is KMG. Brace.
And that will be our package for you for today. There's more, as KMG said, on myjoyonline.com. Up next is Marketplace with Charles Aite. My name is Samuel Kojo. Brace. Good afternoon.